Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jim and welcome to the Bank of Big Head. This video today I think is one of the more valuable things I've shared. I've shared several things with several people, but today we're going to talk about money and teaching money to kids. I don't know about you guys, but for me, growing up, my mom was a waitress. We didn't have any money, and the relationship with money that we had was not a great one, not a one of prosperity. We understood only to trade time for money, and that's the way I was raised. I think almost all of us were raised that way. But before we get started, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I'll just get that out of the way. About me, a little bit about me. So why should you listen to me is that I'm a real estate investor. I'm an investor of all sorts, but my primary focus is real estate. I've done over $10 million in real estate transactions. So I've been around the block a few times, punched in the nose, below the belt, and everywhere in between. So I do know a few things about money coming and going. This channel was started really inspired by my sons. My son Edward, my elder son, we had talked about creating a bank. I talked about creating a bank, so we took the steps to do that, and he started calling it Bank of Big Head, so hence the name of this channel. And I'm excited to share with you our journey. Before I get into how teaching my kids about money and the successes and the failures we've had, because this has been a little bit of a rocky road the last couple years. From the time I started to where we are now, we're in a really good place. But I've made some mistakes, and let my tuition be your tuition so you do not have to make the same mistakes I made. I'm going to give you the roadmap, step by step, what I did. I'm going to share any information, answer any questions you have, but the success that we've had from, as parents, teaching our kids about money to give them a foundation for success in the future is nothing less than spectacular. And I'll get into the nuts and bolts of those details. I wanted to share a little bit about how we learn about money as kids. If you've not read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you can hear my voice right now, I would encourage anybody and everybody to go read that book, because that book changed my stars. I'm a voracious reader and student of all things to improve. But when I read that book, I had been working in the corporate world for about 20 years. I read that book and I finished it on a Friday. I put that book down on the barbecue as I'm cooking, and I told my wife, I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. And from that day forward, I took action and started buying real estate and doing different things and working on investing and getting, having the primary focus of getting money to work for me instead of working for money. So that changed my stars. So the blessing for my children is, since I've learned that, and it took me a lot longer than I wish it would have, that I've been able to share that with them. So what I'd like to do is share with you a step-by-step journey of us creating our bank and teaching our kids about money. It was a messy process, and my wife will tell you that me and the two boys were barbarians, so this is not classy. It's not going to be the most eloquent journey, and I'm going to be raw and share with you what we did, and hopefully it'll bring value to you. This is how it started. The first meeting I had with my kids was, we got on a whiteboard. We got a whiteboard in our basement, and we decided that to teach them about money. And my boys work hard. I'm telling you, being a contractor, they understand trading time for money, and they work hard. I send them out, whether they're cleaning up a job site or stacking bricks or doing something hard. These boys know hard. I know hard work. They know hard work and the value of hard work. So this is not a shortcut for kids not to learn the value of hard work. When this started, Edward had saved $36 from working. At this time, he is 6 and Walter is 4. And Walter had $30. So I was teaching them of what 10% looks like. So we wrote this on the whiteboard. This is what they had. This is 10% of what the monies that they had at that time. So this was the first step that we took in creating the bank so they could understand the concepts. So our next step was, and you can see how happy my little one is, Walter. He was not enjoying this original journey. He enjoys it now. I physically built boxes and these became our physical bank. As you can see here, this is a couple payments in. At this time, Edward's got 52 bucks and Walter had 43.89. So I was teaching them. Edward's learning, he was writing his own amounts. Walter had not kind of gotten there at this point, but teaching them the interest payments come the last Friday of every month and they get 10%. The first 3 months though, and I thought this was a key thing that I did, was a month is too far for kids to learn. So what we were doing is we were paying interest every week for the first few months. So it got into every Friday we would pay interest. Every Friday we would pay interest. And that was one of the better decisions that I made, to be able to get them to understand that they're going to get paid every Friday. So I thought it would be great to share with you here. I've got the initial video.
Here, Edward, we finished our bank. So I built like cool boxes, Edward.
I'll explain
and
to
bank.
you.
Well, you're gonna explain to me. So this is Edward bank, and this is Walter's. So I give them a whiteboard. I track the actual interest they earn in Excel spreadsheet. But Edward, you want to tell me about your board? How do you make money without doing work?
Interest.
It's called interest. Do you like interest?
Well, a lot. Because I love money, man.
Okay, all right, man. All right, so explain
likes
to me
it a
your
lot.
board. What'd you put on your board?
So I put my name on, and just in case, and I have $52.72.
Right, very good. So
I was
as
born in 2015.
okay, well, you can get rid of the 20 and just put the 2015. And then what else did you write on there? What else does it say?
It says my favorite Nerf gun, the
Fortnite, nice. And what did you put there? Jim or Dad?
Yeah.
I prefer Dad. Let's stick with that. All right, good job, guys.
I wanted to show that video to you because I think that's an important part for my boys to have a physical bank where we put our money in each week. So this is the box. I mean, eventually it's going to get full, and by the time I keep paying 10% every month, the compounding, it's going to get pretty aggressive. But as the boys began to learn and get the payments, we did a cash real estate transaction with a local guy, and we got stacks of 10,000. Edward was loving being able to count that for me. That was a fun activity there. And now, as the boys progress along, the payments, you can see here in July, the bank launched in November of 2021, and I'm just going to skip through, but now the boys are really digging the payments. So we started doing the first several months, I think up until May or so, and I'll go over the spreadsheet with you a little bit later. The payments were weekly, so this thing is really growing, and it's really a big activity within our family to pay the interest. And today's, as I do this video, today is Friday, June 30th, 2023, and we had an interest payment today, so I'll share with the details on that as well. I thought it would be good to share with you another video, which is just, I think, epic, of the boys when they made the payment. So the little one, when he first got into it, he didn't have a great comprehension, but now we go over the numbers. We all use a calculator. We factor in what we're going to make each and every payday. It's just the best thing I've done from a parent teaching about money. And I'll get into all the nuts and bolts, the do's, the don'ts, what was good, what wasn't good. I'm going to share with you all those details here, but thought I would share you just an overview of the journey real quick before we do that.
Okay, here's the interest payment day. All right, how much money do you guys have?
I have $969.94.
Oh, you're like rich. How much do you have, Mr. Cruiser?
I have 1,000
Edward!
and 73
That's his. How much do you have, Edward?
I have
Stop.
1,073
What?
and 71 cents.
Okay, so Edward has $1,073. How much do you have, Edward? I can't see. Turn around. And 71 cents.
What he said.
Yeah, so they did their spreadsheets, they got their payments, and both of them took all their interest from for this month and reinvested it. Good job.
Okay, so I think it's great to share with you that we do have a lot of fun with this, along with it being some great lessons learned. I'll show you on the spreadsheet that I've created that I'll happily share with any parent who reaches out to me and emails me. I will give you a copy of it so you can use. But we have a decision to make whether or not how much I'll let them take now. I will let them take up to 50%, or they can reinvest the whole thing and see how it grows. This particular in March, they decided both to reinvest the entire amount into their banks, which was cool. I didn't tell them to. They decided. We went over the numbers. Here's what it's going to look like if you do. Here's what it look like if you don't. And then they made a good decision. So this is today. As you can see, the boys, their $30 from November of 21 is now $1,264 for Edward and $1,179 for Walter. The banks are growing significantly. And if you pull out I'll pull out a compound calculator. I'm not going to do in this video, but the numbers start to get scary big. And I told them we've got other investments. The boys are invested in some aggressive yet pretty safe crypto investments, and I've got them in a compounding life insurance policies which grow exponentially as well. We've got good stakes in the ground for them to grow. What's the date today? Is June 30th, 2023. The Bank of Big Head, the Gruisers Bank, is grown. How much did we start with in 2021?
36.
36. And how much for you?
Started off with $1.
No, he started with 30. Okay, how much do you guys have as of today in your bank? Mr. Edward, you go first. How much?
1,264.40
and 40 cents, right?
cents.
All right.
And so
How much do you have, Mr. Walter?
1,179
And 30 cents. Wow, that's so your accounts have grown. So what? So you investors, what did you guys do to grow this? Edward coming in and telling me that he did nothing is the most epic understanding of what truly passive investing is. We talk about this. They didn't do nothing. They had to start with seed money. They made a good investment, and then they were feeding it and watching it grow. Their understanding of investing has gotten so fantastic. We talk about it in every way, shape, or form. They're talking about it. You know, they understand that we have, workers people who work they make money by the hour, and how much better passive income is. So let me get to the nuts and bolts to share with you parents, so you can see what I've created here. Is each one of them have their own spreadsheet, and I've got the formats in here where it starts with their first interest payments, and each time this compound, as you can see, I was paying every week for quite a while. The kids get the excitement on, get them understanding the value of this. I was doing it every week. And then what I did to get the money going for all of 2022 is I started adding some, and then when they did work at our job sites, and they would add money. So whatever it was, we'd have the original money, the 10%, what that growth was, whatever contribution, and then that would go here at the total, and it would compound. We would compound it to each total. So at the end of 2022, Edward had nearly $800 and Walter had $750. So Walter's been just behind Edward because he started a little bit behind him. But starting in 2023, I stopped with the $20 from Dad. Any money that came in here is from them. They're putting it in, and we're only doing monthly 10% payments. What I let them do at the beginning, and this is a great story. So Edward, I believe somewhere near the end of Christmas time, he had $700 and something in there, and he goes, his interest payment he goes, I want my $62 or whatever. And I said, no. I said, you're not. This is your bank. And he stomped up the stairs and he goes, it's my money. Why can I not have it? He kicked me so hard. And as you can see here, that was probably on this payment. So the next payment, I started to let them take withdrawals, which is the best thing I've ever done. There's no reason to have money if they never get to enjoy it. So our rule starting in 2023 is that they can take up to a 50% of whatever the interest they earn. So if they earned $80, they could take 40, but he only took 20 here. Now the last couple weeks they've been taking close. Today they took 50% because they wanted to buy some Pokemon cards. Edward tells me his strategy is take 50% here, next month let it all ride, take 50% the following month. So he's going to do 50 all in, 50 all in each month. That's his strategy to do this. I cannot tell you how powerful this has been to teach my kids and to understand the power of compound interest and the power of investing, the power of having money work for them instead of them working for money. This has been, as a dad, to see how they interact with other people, and they'll tell people straight out. So Edward at school, when they ask him what he's going to be, other kids are like firemen and policemen and doctors, and those are all, I'm not judging those things, but if you ask my sons what they're going to be, they said we're going to be investors. That just makes my heart jump because they can do so many good things. And again, I want to really stress that we work hard. My family, my motto, I'm like, nobody can outwork me. And that's still the case. I believe that nobody can outwork me. But getting your money to work for you, you only get one journey in this thing. Having your money work for you is just, that's the goal. That's the goal. The teaching your kids and to be able to give them the freedom so they're not going to be in the matrix and have to work for somebody their whole life is just the biggest gift I'm giving. So my kids will be watching this video years from now, and they better be thanking their dad and saying, wow, my dad rules. He taught us to be investors and do the things we do. But for you parents, if there's anything I can share with you or any questions you have for me, please don't hesitate. If you can like this video, share this video with someone else, that'd be great. If you want a copy of the spreadsheet, my email will be in the description below. You can email me and I'll just email you a copy of it. All you can do is plug the numbers in and play. But the most important part, I believe, especially with little kids like mine, you gotta have a physical bank. If they see a physical bank, because my kids roll the money up, they stuff it in the hole, and they know it's physically there. The whiteboard, I also think, is also important for them to write the date and how much is in there, and for them to understanding and see where it grows. And you see, when I ask the boys, what did you have, what did you start with, they can tell that story. So if you found there any value from this, please like, please subscribe, drop me a comment, send me an email if you want a copy of the spreadsheet, and that's it. Have a great day.